Hi everybody, good day. So I'm outside and I just thought to do a video just to highlight for those that are coming in September. So for those that are coming in September or coming pretty soon, some in August to start classes in September. I'm already prepping my class for September. So if you're coming to me or coming to my unit, then I will be seeing you. But anyway, for you that are coming in September and you're thinking prepping and planning, I just want to do this very quick one just to highlight some of the things that you may need or you should be doing, and I'm going to list them out. So the first one you should do is to get all of your immigration documents, so your CAS letter, possibly handy, your passport, your visa. So for those of you that are coming that have already done your visa application, you are still going to get a vignette. So that means you have a stamp on your passport. But if you haven't done your application from the 15th of July, I did not made a video about that, you're not going to get a vignette. So you only get a link with an email with a link where you're then going to do your visa. You do the e-visa update, and that is what you bring. You have a share code you bring along with you, and you use that to evidence your immigration rights. Now, that being said, so you want to have all of your documents. There's no sense in you coming to the country and then you get to the immigration point and you're digging for these documents because they are in your tin luggage. So make sure everything is handy in your hand luggage or even in your handbag, possibly, if you have one of those, or backpack. The other one, or one of the other things you need, is to check out the next one. You need to have accommodation, ideally, even if you haven't really sorted that out, at least somewhere temporary. So look out for accommodation. You can check accommodation online. There are different portals for accommodation. Rightmove, for example, open market, accommodation, friends and family even. So just have an idea of accommodation, because sometimes at the border you may be asked. Some people are not asked, but some people I've heard would have been asked about the accommodation, just the plan of it, not necessarily like have evidence of it, but just to say, oh, I plan to stay with my cousin and then I'm going to get a place on campus, something like that. The other document or the other thing is that you would, as soon as you come in, you should put in your NI documents. So you should put in your NI application. You go online and you are able to fill in that form. If you're coming from a country that you need to register with the police, also something you will need to consider and do as soon as you get into the country. So you go to the police point, then you register with them. But that's if you're from a country that requires that. Not every country requires that. I do know Nigeria does not require that. Should also, as soon as possible, go and register with your university. Important, go to your uni, let them know you're here, enroll, do all of your documentation, because then that makes you full-fledged student. If you have not enrolled, you're not yet a student, or you are a student potentially, but you're fully identified as a student. So you have your login details. If you can attend orientation, it can be really useful. Honestly, it can be really useful because a lot of information are given throughout the orientation week, and then you even see some companies that will come in that orientation week for some job opportunities. So you may be able to link up with some of them. So try and come in that week. Schools, they usually, not all, but most schools is around the third week in September that most schools will do the orientation week and things, or maybe second week of September, sorry, because third week then most classes will start. So you want to, as much as possible, I know immigration can change all of this, but try to be there because it can be really useful. And if you're not there, maybe find a classmate that someone you guys are going to be in the same class with, and just ask from them or get some of the things that they are able to gather in terms of information. Right. Obviously, is very important. So as soon as you come in, you need to start getting to know your environment so that you can know where to look for jobs. Of the jobs, a lot of them are online, and most time you will find online some of these job portals, Indeed, Glassdoor, but also you can go into the town center, into shops, Like where I am now, this is a shopping mall and there are so many shops in here. There's one I saw just outside here, literally they put part-time needed. So if you go into town and you go into some of these shops, you may be able to find some part-time gigs that you can do. On your experience and qualification, they may be able to take you on. So not just go online, but also go into shops and into the sound center. It also helps you to get to know places and know things around. The other thing that comes to mind you need is your bank. It's very important, right? Because as soon as you start getting paid, this sun is entering my eyes. Let me move a bit. So as soon as you start getting paid, you need a bank. So before you start getting paid, of course, get yourself one of these high street banks. I would always advise, because a lot of people get the online banks like Revolut, Monzo, like Chase, and they are really helpful and useful. They are very quick to set up. But I would also advise you have one high street bank, so like Barclays, Lloyd, just because there are some documentation you may need to do, and some of those online banking may not be acceptable, may not be just appropriate. So just have one high street bank. Usually the high street bank take a bit longer, they may take some days, and I think that's why some people just go with the online, but you can also do the high street one. Also, you need to register with your GP. You've already paid your IHS, so don't let it go for free. Use it if you have to. And so that means look at your area, go online and just check GPs around me and register with one of those GPs, so that if any health situation that you need to just even do just check up, you can always go in and request for that. You also need to get yourself a nice SIM card. So you can get maybe like Lebara, which they probably will give you at the airport or even in your home country. But when you come in, you can also get the other that you can get. So something like Voxy is a very, very good one, student friendly. Voxy Mobile. So you can get that. I think it's around £10 or so, £10-12 a month for a very good deal. 40 or so gig. So it will take you throughout the month. You shouldn't run out, ideally. If you go on that one. So that is that. Other things like to think what else that you may need to do. Of course, I'm not getting everything. Oh, in terms of packing, you want to pack food. I know I saw somebody's video and they say, yeah, clothes. Of course, I would always say a pair of one item. Your trouser, that's black color trouser, ideal. You how home wears, you want to have a few of those. But also, please, well, some people go to event, church and all that, so you may need some traditional outfit, but they are not very essential, I think. Get yourself nice pack of food. Obviously you don't need things like rice, spaghetti, because they are more than enough here. They are here and they are plenty, they are cheap. But things like really or should I say local items that you need for food, especially I will always say soup ingredients, you know, fish, dry fish, this one, that one, crayfish, all of these things. But soup based items, I feel like, or ingredients, I feel like they can be a bit expensive, especially the first month or two that you come in. So maybe get those. Obviously, would, if possible, put in your mind that you're going to probably be without job for 2 months. It may be even longer. Some people, it takes a bit longer, earlier, but at least maybe 2 months. Some people will say you can apply for jobs from your own country. I don't, and use UK address. I wouldn't discourage that, but you may not necessarily get job before you come into the country. Yeah, you can at least start to familiarize yourself with the job climate and just look at what kind of requirements are they expecting in some of these job adverts and prepare yourself in that sense. So I feel like, yeah, these are like key things to cover. If there is anything else I've missed, just in the comment section. But thank you very much. I'm just doing a bit of updates as I come out to get some sun, because we don't get sun often in this UK. So when we get it, you have to come out. All right, bye guys. So if you're coming from a country with enough sun, you might want to put some in your pockets. I got a pocket full of sunshine. You know that song? So you may have some put in your pockets, because sun in the UK, we don't get it that often. But yeah, all the best to everybody coming. It's exciting. I know this time 11 plus years ago, I was packing up, almost 11 years ago, I was packing up my bag, pushing things and saying, oh, calm down, I'm coming to UK in September. So God's grace, it has been a wonderful journey for myself. So I'm praying to the goodness of God that it will be for you as well. I know the UK is super challenging, things have changed and everything, but I am still optimistic that people are doing well for themselves, and I hope you will be doing well for yourself. All of your investments, all of your sacrifices will come back to you in hundreds of folds by God's grace. Amen. Become a prayer warrior. All right, everybody. Take care and bye-bye.